everybody. Welcome to A. Radeski Genealogy. My name is Angela Radeski. Today I'm going to take you to see a building here in Middletown, Delaware. Some of you might have heard of before. It's called the Middletown Academy. It's a big yellow building that people drive by and probably have no clue what's upstairs in the attic. So today I'm going to take you up in the attic and show you what's up there, so stick around. Everybody, it's me, Angie. I'm back again, and I told you I was going to take you to this yellow building that you see here behind me. This is the Middletown Academy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the academy before I take you inside and take you on up to the attic. Thanks to a couple merchants and farmers back in 1824, they asked for a lottery because they felt as though there was a need for an education, buildings to be built, land to teach the young and the youth about what they needed to know to get further on in life. So that was in 1824. Luckily, in 1825, the lottery passed and 6 acres of land were going to be set aside to build the Middletown Academy. Unfortunately, there was one individual who would not vacate the property. So that left a lot of the members of the community and surrounding communities concerned, I'm sure. I mean, is there going to be an academy, a building that they can go to send their children to get the education? Well, luckily there was one gentleman. His name was William Crawford. William donated 2 acres of land to build the academy. And thanks to William Crawford, you have this building here behind me sitting on this land. This is the Middletown Academy. And after Mr. Crawford donated that land, in October of 1826, the doors opened of the academy, and we then had the Middletown Academy, which was a private academy. Now, it stayed a private academy until 1876, when it was made into a public school. There are classrooms inside, many classrooms inside, students, teachers, many people walk through this front door, so it has a historical significance not only to Middletown, but the surrounding communities. That includes Townsend, Odessa, Smyrna, many areas here in Middletown, Delaware. Now, it stayed a public school from 1876 until 1929, when the doors closed. And you can imagine why. In 1929, the population that we had here in Middletown was growing. Population growth means more students, means larger buildings, larger classrooms. So when it closed in 1929, the Middletown Academy then decided to sell the property and its contents, including this building, back over to the government. Little did they know, the government had plans to turn this building into a post office. Well, as you can imagine, if you care enough about your community and your buildings, those members of this community didn't like to hear that. So thank goodness the St. George 100 Historical Society heard about this, didn't like it, and stepped in to take possession of the building. They actually took possession of the building and saved it in 1945. Then from 1945, it stayed in their possession until 1960, when the town of Middletown purchased this building. Since that time, there have been many occupants of the Middletown Academy. We have the police department. It was a police station at one time. It was also the Chamber of Commerce here in Middletown. It played as a city hall and even a public library. So now that you have a little idea about what this building is all about and the significance it plays here in Middletown, and you've heard about Mr. Crawford, William Crawford, I'm going to now take you upstairs to where some of these classrooms were at that many of you have never seen before. And you'll understand why it means so much to members of this community and those who attended school and just to those who liked history itself. So let's go on up and I'll take you upstairs and we'll take a look, okay? Hey guys, now that we're inside the Middletown Academy, I'm going to go on ahead and take you upstairs. And as you go up here, I want you to take notice of the walls and what the walls look like as you're going up the stairs. And know that years ago, you had how many students running up and down these stairs? So the stories that are in this building and where I'm getting ready to take you, the stories alone have got to be fascinating. So let's go ahead and go on up and see what we can find, okay? Come on up. You can hear the creaking of the stairs as you work your way around up here. I might have to turn on some extra lights. I don't know what the lighting's going to be like when I finally get up here. Look, you've got some paint that's chipping off up here. I don't know if this is the original paint or not, how old this paint is that's on up here. So let's go on up, and definitely have to watch your step when you're up in this area. Alright guys, now we're up here into the attic, and one of the things I want to let you know real quick is I have a light shining on me, so if there's a shadow, forgive me. That doesn't mean that there's anybody standing behind me you should warn me about. In this area that we're in right now, it looks to be the entrance to where the classrooms are at. So I'm going to take you on back here slowly, and we'll have to watch our step that we don't fall through the boards, because if you can see these boards and the floors, you can see this is the original floor, and this hasn't been changed. So let's go on ahead and walk back through this area here to where the classrooms are at. You can see the door. Oh my gosh, scared me. There was a woman standing over here in the corner, so don't jump when you walk this way. I forgot she was in here. This was one of the classrooms that was used. For those of you who like the spooky thing, yeah, that did scare me, just so you know, and the fact that her arm is laying on the floor. When you walk in this classroom, one of the things that I thought was so neat the first time I walked up here was, of course, none of this air duct stuff, none of this stuff was up here then. This was put in later. But there's handwriting on the wall where the students had wrote different notations on the walls. And if you can come over here, I'll bring you guys over here so you can see some of these things that are here on the walls. I don't know how close we can get in to show you. Here you have Dick Howe. He signed his name. Here somebody was in 2005. Obviously they got in when they weren't supposed to be in here. You have lots of little scribbles. I'm going to show you some more in the other rooms that's really, really neat. Here you have Pauline D. on April 26th. One thing here, this is neat to look at when you look at some of these older buildings. You see how I don't know what you call these are, but I'm just going to call them little pieces of wood. I'm sure one of you out there will be able to tell me what that is. And how it's all starting to fall apart now. That's the sad part. When we look at some of our buildings that we have that have a history in them, they start to fall apart. And we start to lose that piece of history. And that's, like I said, one of the reasons I wanted to make sure you guys had the opportunity to see a building like this here in Middletown, Delaware. And we'll go on back here into this area. Boy, imagine walking down this hallway, this long hallway to your classroom. Now this is another half of the classrooms that are up here. There seems to be a lot of items in here, and I don't feel comfortable walking in and risking tripping and falling or over some of them. So we're going to skip this one. Just know that there's another classroom here, so we just left one, and now we're going to walk down here where some additional classrooms are at. In case you're wondering what this stuff is here, and you see these are Middletown transcripts. These papers are. And so these are the original Middletown transcripts that are kept up here in brown wrapping. Now, I do know the Middletown Historical Society has all copies of the Middletown transcript digitized on their computer downstairs, and they're free access to members of the Historical Society who want to come in and view them. But let's go into this room. This is one of my favorite rooms, and you'll understand why. Mainly because when you look at the door, it tells you what was in this room at one time. It shows here that this is the Middletown High School candy shop. We have Good Eats, peanuts and snacks for 5 cents. Here you have Mickey Price signature up here. You have Sheldon, Selena. And then as you work your way, as we work our way on over, you can see more signatures. You have Ned Nard, this was in 1956. But look, take a look at this. This is the price list of all of those items purchased. So you can see here that Betty P purchased something. We have Marion H. Oops, looks like she still owes a nickel. Up here at the top we have the class of 29, Ralph Berkman. You have Doc Jacobs, 1925. And they kept a running tab of it. Nowadays we use computers. So I guess it was just easier for them then. The wall was here, why not just scribble it on the wall? And then over here is this is interesting to see that it appears to be the football team had their plays laid out here on the board or on the side of the wall. You can see the class team. Here you have the end, the tackle, center. I think that's a forward. You have Armstrong, Lewis, Swan, Buckworth, another Armstrong. I don't know if Armstrong played many places, played many roles it looks like. So you even have up here in the attic, you have the list of some of the football team members that were here and how they were planning their play. This is their playbook on the wall. So this here was a neat. This here you can see the larger signatures, but you here have Victor Philip Cole. Now those of you in this area, that last name should ring a bell with many of you. And this is his signature. It looks like May 23rd, 1922. So this whole room has some really neat pieces of history in it when it comes to looking at, you know, their candy court, their candy room, what was purchased. You have their signatures. This is their running tally of Mount Dew, and you also have the football team and the football plays, and some signatures from members of the school. Some of them graduated, left, and if they didn't, one good thing is you have the year that they were here. So let's take a look here at the other room. All right, now we're in another classroom, and in this one, someone was very creative with their artwork, who I thought was really neat. Somebody drew a silhouette of someone here on the wall, which was really cute. There's some other drawings in here I'll show you in this room also. Here we have a Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, I don't have the last names of some of these individuals. I just have some of their first names. So maybe if you're from the area and you know the history behind this Hall of Fame, you can let me know. I don't have a whole lot on those individuals that are there on that wall. Looks like we have a Scotty, a Betty, an Eleanor, Blake, Watson, Eve, Paul, Dick, Sue. So if you know about any of these, let me know. I kind of like to find out who these people are and what the Hall of Fame is that's on the wall here. Also in this room, if you span over, you can look. As you see, the ceiling is really slanted, but they didn't leave any part untouched. Here we have John Cochran. I know you know that name from this area. Mr. John Cochran signature up here. We have also Ellen Murray. We have some other signatures that you have to scrunch down, so I'll go down. You stay up where we're at. Oh, this is the class of 30. This is Ellen Murray and Fanny Bradley signature that's on here. Who else do we have up here on this? Oh, look, here's a pretty piece of artwork. Another piece of artwork somebody drew of a flower. You have Fanny's name up here. We have a Donovan up here on the wall that's signed. Class of 30. Oh, junior prom. This was Billy Poole. Down here on the very bottom, and I'm going to squat down really low and make it in here. Little piece of artwork, and this is Paul Money, class of 31. If you have followed any of my work that I've done on my blog, you'll know that I've done some research on the Money family. So this is very, very unique, and I really like the idea of seeing this because since I didn't know the Money family, but I did a little bit of research on them, it's kind of neat to see the signature up here on the wall. Hi everybody, this is the last room of the upstairs area here of the Middletown Academy, and I wanted to bring in here and just kind of show you that it looks like there's some leftover remnants of just about everything in this room. You have what appears to possibly be some index or catalog file holders that were used for the library. There's old desks, there's filing cabinets up here. There's a lot of things that have been left up here in this room, which I unfortunately can't give you the historical significance of it or attach any names to it because I don't know a whole lot about everything that's up here in the inside. So this was what was found up here in the attic of the Middletown Academy. I know I didn't give you a whole lot of information yet as to who some of the names were, and for that I'm sorry, because I don't know a lot of the people. And why don't I know a lot of them? Well, because I'm not from Middletown. But those of you who are watching this might be from Middletown, Delaware, or might know some of those names that I mentioned. And for that reason, I hope you contact me and let me know. You know, you can hit the subscribe, the like, the share button down below, and leave your comments. Have an interesting piece of property, or a piece of property that has some kind of history attached to it, and you would like to share that history with others that are viewing just like you are, let me know down below. Give me some information, some comments about the property that you have or the home that you have that you would like to share with others. And maybe I'll come out and take a walk around and find out a little bit more about what history is around the home that you're in or a home that you know of. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and click all those buttons down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.